And the women would say in the discussion groups, when they would talk about the positive things that they would observe in the men in their life who had been to Círculo, and I asked them one time, I said, so what do they, I know what goes on in a Círculo. And I'd say, so what do they do in the Círculo? And the woman said, I don't know. I really don't care. She said, I just know that I know my husband was changed from being into the Círculo. And then we asked her, what changed? And she says, well, he came home and he did the dishes. And we're sitting there, and it was kind of lost on the researchers, and I said, why is that significant? And she says, I've known this man for nearly 20 years, and not once in that period of time has he washed the dishes. And the day that he went to his first Círculo, he came home and he did the dishes. And I said, do you know why he did it? And she says, no, I just know that he did. What happens in the Círculo, especially for the newcomers, is they are asked, when you leave here today, know that, imagine that the Círculo was with you, and we could see everything you do, but we cannot hear a word you say. What would we see you do to show that you love the people you claim to love? That man went home, and he did the dishes for the first time in his relationship. It was a sentinel experience for him. I know who this man is, and now I know that he does much more than do that. But he was of the mindset that the women did the work in the home, and he did the work outside the home. However, his wife also worked out of the home. And so we remind them that we have these values that are couched in a history that ignores the reality that we live in today. And so if our wives and our partners can work outside the home and they're required to work inside the home, then why does that not fit with us as well? These are things that that male involvement has touched on. And we don't know how to engage young men in contraceptive decision making because it broaches on that other right of women to be autonomous and in self-control about all that. How much time do I have? Okay. And but we have to realize that in relationship, things are very different. And we have to be able to promote and recognize that, yes, it is about individuals having autonomy to have self-direction about what they wish to do and respect that profoundly. But in many instances, it's helpful to have a supportive partner to help you get to where you want to go as well. This quote was taken verbatim, but it's a quote that I would hear in many communities that I went to. The health educators were not formally trained, but became trained over time. And one of them, they would say that I not only have to talk the talk about reproductive health, but I have to walk the walk 24/7. It keeps me straight and good because I don't want to let any of these guys down. And in every community, there are people and men that are willing to do this. And you have to be willing to figure out how to fit them into your services. Because tying into the previous conversation is they're in that community. And if they do it and embody this, it will take you much further. It is not easy. I didn't talk about curriculum. I didn't talk about specific interventions, because actually those things come after the community decides that they're going to do this work. And then you can be engaged in discussions about how best to do it with the community. And and it's not by accident. I didn't do it earlier in the other conversation either. But that's really important. That engagement part, whether it's the Latino community or men or young men, is very, very critical. Do I have time for questions, or have I burned that time? No. Okay. Sure. So as a way to say thank you, we have Claire and the team that developed these videos, which many of you have seen. It's called A Question of Hope. And they have have 2 copies in Spanish and 2 copies in English. So people that, and you can get copies by calling or emailing Lauren Ralph, and I'll give you that contact information. And she'll send you copies. But this is about reducing Latina childbearing in California. It was a study that was conducted. How many would have used for an English version to promote the agenda of engaging the Latino community? Karen, I'll get you a copy directly. All right, now who works with the Latino community and needs one in Spanish? I gave one to your colleague. Usted, que estaba aquí enfrente bien paciente todo el día, aquí le va una, okay? Anybody else? Okay. So with that, I want to thank you, and I will repeat, I will end how I started. If I'm going to go, to use a bad euphemism, if I'm going to go in a battle on these issues, I start with the people that are in the room at the end of the day. I hope you have a safe journey back home, and thank you very much.